Listen closely, chosen ones. When others try to mess with you, they're not just playing games, they're playing with fire. And fire doesn't ask who you are before it burns. The ones who come for you often don't realize they're stepping into something they can't handle. You're not ordinary. You carry something different, something powerful. You're protected by a force that can't be seen, touched, or explained, and that makes you untouchable in ways people can't comprehend. When someone decides to come against you, they're not just picking a fight, they're setting a trap for themselves. They might start with lies or secret plans, trying to bring you down quietly. But those very plans turn against them. It's like they're planting landmines around you, only to forget where they placed them. And eventually, they're the ones who end up stepping on them. They think they can bury you, silence you, or break your spirit. But they don't understand what they're really dealing with. You are a seed. When they try to bury you, you don't die. You grow, you rise, and you come back stronger. Right now, you might feel like you're watching everything unfold. The games people play, the rumors, the fake support, the setups designed to trip you up. You see it. You feel it. But here's what they don't realize. Every trap they set, every lie they tell, every move they make, it's all turning back on them. They think they're getting ahead, but in truth, they're writing the story of their own fall. Imagine someone secretly putting poison in your cup, thinking they've outsmarted you. But they don't know they've been drinking from that same cup the whole time. The very plan they thought would destroy you is now destroying them. That's how spiritual protection works. When you're chosen, you don't need to lash out. You don't need revenge. You just need to stay calm, stay grounded, and stay faithful. The force that surrounds you fights for you. It flips every weapon aimed at you back toward the one who launched it. They might even laugh, thinking their plan is working. They think they've got you cornered. But what they don't understand is that the force behind you doesn't work on their time. It moves at the perfect moment with power, speed, and exactness. And when it strikes, it doesn't miss. Everything they threw at you, the hate, the anger, the jealousy, comes flying back harder than they ever expected. The truth is, all of that darkness they aim at you really has nothing to do with you. It's a mirror of the war going on inside of them. Every time they attack you, they're just revealing how broken they are. Every insult, every scheme, every fake smile, they're all signs of their own pain and fear. You don't need to defend yourself. You just need to stand firm. The attacks won't last, but your strength will. Their arrows will turn into boomerangs and return to the sender. They can push, they can dig, they can plan all they want, but they'll never get past the shield that surrounds you. It's invisible to the eye, but stronger than any wall. Every step they take toward hurting you is actually a step deeper into the mess they've made for themselves. You're walking with purpose. You've been selected for something greater. That kind of calling can't be touched or canceled by human hands. And when they think they've succeeded, when they believe they've broken you, watch what happens. That energy they sent your way comes back multiplied. It's not just karma. It's a spiritual law built into the very fabric of how the unseen world works. They tried to take you down, but they only ended up bringing chaos into their own lives. Their relationships fall apart. Their peace of mind vanishes. Their secrets rise to the surface, and nothing feels safe for them anymore. Meanwhile, you keep walking. You shine. You get stronger. Every door they tried to close in your face opens wider. Every time they tried to dim your light, it only made you burn brighter. Their failure becomes your fuel. You don't need to fight the way they do. Your silence speaks louder. Your calmness shakes them more than any words could. You're protected in ways they'll never understand. They think they're battling you, but they're actually fighting their own shadows. They're obsessed with your downfall, but that obsession is like quicksand. The more they sink into it, the more their own world unravels. They imagine they're the ones in control, but they've already lost it. You've already won just by standing still. Every time they make a move against you, they trigger something bigger, something divine. A force that sees all, knows all, and acts with perfect timing. This isn't some random turn of luck. It's a calculated response from a higher realm. Every move they make, every lie, every twisted story, it all gets counted. And when the moment is right, the response comes. Sharp, clear, devastating. The same lie they use to try and destroy your name, it backfires and ruins their own. The betrayal meant to break your heart, it crushes their peace instead. This isn't about revenge, it's about truth. Justice. It's about the universe, the divine, setting things right in ways that no human plan could ever undo. And as they fall apart, you rise. They may lose their reputation. Some will lose the people closest to them. Others will lose control completely. Whatever they value most is what they end up losing, because that's the cost of attacking something protected. You don't need to defend yourself. The force that covers you is already doing that. All you need to do is keep walking in faith. Keep showing up. Keep growing. Your silence is louder than any argument. Your peace confuses them more than any words ever could. When the dust settles, there will be no doubt. People will look at what happened and know, this wasn't just chance. This was something higher, something sacred. You'll be standing tall, whole, and stronger than ever. They'll be left with nothing but the pieces of the traps they set for you. Every attempt to take you down becomes a step up for you. Their lies become your truth amplified. Their downfall becomes the proof of your protection. You don't just survive, you elevate. You glow. You become undeniable. To those still trying to hurt you, let them know this. They're not just fighting flesh and blood. They're not just picking a battle with a person. They're challenging a force they can't even begin to understand. And when that force decides to move, it doesn't hesitate. It doesn't miss. And it never loses. What they thought would be your ending becomes your beginning. Their arrows become your armor. Their words become your wings. And the very storm they sent to destroy you becomes the wind that lifts you higher. You're not ordinary. You're chosen. You're protected. And no plan, no lie, no weapon formed against you will succeed. There's something powerful about being the one who's chosen. Not because life gets easier, but because no matter how hard others try to break you, they can't. You were never built to crumble. You were made to endure. And that's what this is all about. Not vengeance, not getting even, but showing the world that you're still standing when everything was designed to knock you down. They tried to hurt you. They really believed their plans would work. But instead of destroying you, all they did was fuel the fire inside you. They thought they could silence you with lies, with betrayal, with cruelty. But every attempt only added more strength to your voice, more clarity to your purpose. You didn't retaliate with hate. You didn't return what they gave. And that's why you shine even brighter. Your strength isn't loud or aggressive. It's quiet, steady, resilient. While they scheme in the shadows, you walk in light. You're protected, not just by luck, but by something bigger. A divine energy surrounds you, shielding you from harm and turning every attack into another reason to rise. That's why no weapon formed against you ever truly works. Because your purpose is too powerful, too rooted in something real. The ones who come against you often don't understand why they're drawn to fight you. It's not because of anything you did. It's because your light reflects their darkness. You're a mirror showing them everything they've buried, everything they've given up on, everything they don't want to face. They see your confidence, your peace, your purpose, and it reminds them of their own insecurities and failures. But here's the truth. The more they try to dim your light, the brighter you burn. Every lie they spread, every trap they set, ends up unraveling their own lives. They think they're hurting you, but they're only hurting themselves. Their anger, their jealousy, their need to tear you down, it becomes a poison that infects everything they touch. Relationships fall apart. Their peace fades. Their plans collapse. Meanwhile, you keep walking, unbothered, unmoved. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to lower yourself to their level. Just by staying true to who you are, you win. Their defeat is written the moment you refuse to engage in their drama. Their attacks bounce off you and return right back to them. Every move they make against you only tightens the rope they unknowingly wrapped around their own neck. And the most amazing part? You don't even need to defend yourself. The power protecting you handles it all. It takes their hate and turns it into blessings for you. Their traps become stepping stones. Their curses become fuel. They think they're pushing you down, but they're actually launching you higher. They believe they're the ones writing the story, but they've already lost control. You see, when someone tries to fight light with darkness, darkness always loses. Always. They're burning with envy, but it's a fire they lit inside themselves. At first, it's just a spark, a jealous glance, a petty comment. But instead of letting it go, they feed it. Every thought soaked in bitterness. Every action driven by hate. And soon, that spark becomes a wildfire that devours their joy, their peace, their sense of purpose. What they don't realize is that while they're obsessed with tearing you down, their own lives are falling apart. They stop building. They stop dreaming. They can't focus on their own growth because they're too caught up in trying to ruin yours. And the more energy they put into hurting you, the deeper they sink into misery. But you're above it. You don't even have to raise your voice. You don't need to prove anything. Their hatred is like a boomerang, and it always comes back harder. It doesn't matter how carefully they plot or how sneaky they try to be, the energy they send out always returns to them multiplied. They lose sleep thinking of ways to bring you down, not realizing that their obsession is slowly breaking them apart. Their minds become consumed by hate, and they can't see anything clearly anymore. What they think is control is actually chaos. They're prisoners of their own jealousy. And you're just living, smiling, growing, becoming more of who you're meant to be. They think you're the problem, but really, you're just the reminder of everything they could be if they had done the work. You're the dream they didn't chase, the healing they never embraced, the strength they never built. Hating you is easier than facing themselves. But hate always comes with a cost. They don't realize that every time they lash out, they reveal more of their wounds, their pain, their inner emptiness. Their envy becomes their downfall, not because of you, but because they never healed what's broken inside them. And it's easier to attack someone who shines than to fix what's dim inside. But here's the twist, all of this, it only proves how powerful you are. You're not just surviving their hate, you're thriving in spite of it. Every day you keep going is a reminder that they never had the power to break you in the first place. You've walked through the fire, and it didn't burn you. It refined you. They think they're the predator, but really, they're walking right into their own trap. Every lie they tell, every trick they try, only adds to the weight of their downfall. They think they're winning because they see you quiet, calm, but they don't know the strength it takes to stay silent. They don't understand that peace is power. You're not reacting because you don't need to. You've learned that not every battle deserves your energy. Some fights are won simply by staying still and letting the truth do its work. And the truth always reveals itself. Always. They believed they were in control, that they had the upper hand. But behind the scenes, a greater force is moving. Every step they take, every move they make, is already being flipped in your favor. They're building their own downfall while you rise higher. It's like a game of chess they never learned how to play. They're moving pieces, thinking they're 3 steps ahead. But they don't see the checkmate coming. Not because you're sneaky, but because you're protected by something greater than strategy. You're walking with purpose, and that purpose can't be stopped. So let them talk. Let them gossip. Let them plan. You don't need to chase rumors. You don't need to clear your name, because your actions speak for themselves. Your peace, your progress, your glow, that's the loudest response you could ever give. You don't need revenge. Your success is the answer. Your growth is the proof. And in the end, they'll have no one to blame but themselves. Because when you go against someone chosen, someone protected, someone walking in their purpose, you don't just fail. You fall hard. The collapse they experience won't be because of you. It'll be because of everything inside them that they refuse to deal with. Their bitterness, their hate, their fear. It was never about you. It was always about them. You were just the trigger. And that's why you win. Not because you fought harder, but because you chose peace. You chose growth. You chose love. You chose to keep walking when everything tried to stop you. And every day you rise, every day you shine, it sends a message louder than any revenge ever could. You're the proof that no one can block what's meant for you. And their hate, it's just more evidence that you're doing something right. They wouldn't fight so hard if you weren't powerful, if you weren't chosen, if you didn't matter. So let them burn in the fire they lit for you. Let their schemes unravel. Let their bitterness consume itself. You'll be rising, glowing, thriving, living, because no matter what they try, you've already won. They never see it coming the moment the floor drops out from under them. The allies they trusted vanish, and the plans they once celebrated blow up in their faces. While they fall, you rise, untouched, stronger with every mistake they make. They think your protection is luck, that your wins are just chance. But they're wrong. There's a force at work, quiet, powerful, and precise. Every time they try to hurt you, they end up building the path you walk on. Their traps become their own downfall. Their schemes backfire with perfect timing. Let them learn you are not alone. And when they come for you, it's like trying to punch the wind. They get tired. You remain unmoved. They think you're just flesh and bone, but they don't see the shield around you, ancient, invisible, unbreakable. This isn't luck. It's legacy. It's purpose. It's power handed down from before you could speak, rooted in the prayers and protection of those who came before. Their attacks hit the air. Every failure leaves them confused, as if an unseen hand is turning their weapons into dust. Their lies and betrayal don't hurt you. They mark the beginning of their own undoing. It's not revenge. It's justice. Their health, relationships, and plans start to crack. Everything they value slips away, while you remain steady, proof of a power greater than hate. They never saw the sign above you, the one that warned, this one is chosen. Blinded by jealousy, they crossed a line they didn't understand. But the rules still apply. And the second they act against you, the universe begins to respond, strategic, sharp, and unstoppable. Their downfall doesn't come all at once. It unravels slowly, painfully. It begins with a shift in their spirit. They lose their peace. The ground feels shaky. Days drag. Nights are sleepless. Regret eats at them like rust, and all they can do is replay their mistakes over and over again. Meanwhile, you walk forward, unshaken, unbothered, victorious, because you don't need to fight. You were never alone. And what protects you? It never sleeps. They never see it coming. One day, everything seems to be working for them. They laugh, make plans, and feel untouchable. But then, without warning, the ground disappears beneath their feet. The people they trusted turn their backs. The goals they once bragged about fall apart. Everything they counted on begins to crumble. And as they fall deeper into chaos, something strange happens. You start to rise. While their world breaks, you move forward, unhurt, calm, and stronger than before. It's not because you fought back. It's not even because you planned it. They think you're lucky or just in the right place at the right time. But they don't see what's really going on. There's something bigger working behind the scenes for you. A force. A quiet but powerful presence that turns every one of their attacks into another stepping stone beneath your feet. Every trap they set for you ends up catching them instead. Every scheme they plan falls apart in their own hands. They think you're an easy target, but they don't realize they've walked straight into their own downfall. You, on the other hand, keep standing, taller, wiser, more protected with each passing moment. They believe you're alone, that your silence means weakness. But they're wrong. You're never alone. There's a power that surrounds you, watches over you, and steps in the moment someone tries to bring harm your way. It's not loud or showy. It moves like the wind, unseen, but impossible to beat. And every time someone thinks they've got you cornered, they find themselves fighting against something they can't even name. They get tired. They get confused. They can't figure out why their plans fail or why you seem untouched. It eats at them. Deep down, they start to feel it, something they can't understand. They thought they were fighting just you. But the truth is, they were picking a fight with something much, much bigger. You aren't just being protected by chance. There is a reason behind it. From the very start of your life, a shield was placed around you. Not a physical one, but a spiritual one. Something built from love, belief, and the sacrifices of those who came before you. You may not see it, but it's always been there, moving you out of harm's way, holding you steady when the world shakes. Sometimes you feel the breeze of their hate, but it never touches your core, because you were built differently. Your life has a rhythm that protects you, like waves that move around rocks. While others stumble, you glide. The doors that close on everyone else, they open just in time for you. The traps that destroy others, they don't even scratch you. You don't even have to understand it all to benefit from it. This protection isn't something you earn by force. It's something given to you, passed down by those who believed in your worth before you could even speak. It's the prayers whispered for you before you were born. It's the strength wrapped into your DNA from people who survived storms you'll never know. And this is what they don't get. They think you're just a regular person, walking around unaware. But what you carry isn't ordinary. You are sacred ground. And trying to hurt you is like trying to spit on the sky. It comes right back down, twice as hard. Their lies, their schemes, every bit of it becomes part of their own collapse. Not because you seek revenge, not because you lift a finger, but because they broke a rule they didn't know existed. When they stepped against you with hate, they invited consequences they couldn't predict. And those consequences aren't soft. Their lives start to crack where they thought they were strongest. Their health may weaken. Their relationships fall apart. Their plans start to fall through. One by one, the things they thought they controlled slip through their fingers like sand. They never saw the sign hanging above you. The one that says, "This one is chosen." That blindness is their biggest mistake. Jealousy blocked their view. Greed pushed them forward. They ignored the quiet warnings, thinking they'd walk away untouched. But life doesn't work like that, not for people who act with hate. The rules of the universe are clear. Even if you don't know them by name, they exist. When someone moves against you with evil, those rules activate. Like dominoes, each decision they make sets off a chain of events that leads to their undoing. And they won't even realize it until it's too late. At first, their fall isn't loud. It starts quietly. They lose their peace. They wake up feeling heavy. The things that used to bring them comfort no longer do. There's a tightness in their chest, a nervousness they can't shake. Their sleep becomes restless. They overthink. They regret. And it only gets worse from there. Everything they once counted on starts falling apart. Their confidence fades. Their smiles become fake. Their laughs sound hollow. And all they can do is look back at every decision they made against you and wish they had chosen differently. But by then, it's too late. Meanwhile, you keep going. You don't even have to fight. You don't even have to speak. While they burn with anger and confusion, you walk forward like nothing ever touched you. And that's because nothing really did. Not where it counts. The protection around you isn't something anyone can see with their eyes. But it's real as gravity, as real as breath. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't fail. And it never forgets. You may not always understand why things happen the way they do, but if you look back, you'll see the pattern. Every time someone tried to ruin you, they ended up ruining themselves. Every time you were pushed down, you rose higher. That's not an accident. That's design. That's power moving for you. So when they talk behind your back, let them. When they plot, let them. When they try to drag your name through the dirt, stay quiet. Not because you're weak, but because your silence is louder than their noise. They will feel the consequences. Not by your hands, but by something far beyond you. The force that walks with you doesn't miss. It doesn't need to be reminded. It sees every action, hears every lie, and repays in full. And the most powerful thing? You don't have to lift a finger. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep living. Keep walking. Keep growing. That alone is enough to shake their world. Let them learn the hard way. Let their hate be the rope they use to tie themselves up. While they waste energy fighting shadows, you keep glowing. Keep becoming. Because you were never just anyone. You are chosen, protected, guided, and no amount of evil can undo what has already been written for you. So if you ever doubt your path, don't. If you ever wonder why things seem to bounce off you while others crumble, this is why. They didn't understand who they were dealing with, but they will. Slowly, painfully, completely. And as they fall apart, you'll stand tall, not because you hurt them, but because they hurt themselves trying to touch what was never theirs to touch. Let them feel the weight of their choices. Let them sit in the silence they created. Because this isn't about revenge. It's about truth, about energy, about balance. You're not just surviving. You're walking proof that light always finds its way, that justice always shows up, that no matter how loud darkness gets, it never wins in the end. When someone sets out to harm others, especially someone protected by a higher purpose, the damage never stays confined to just one area. At first, everything might seem fine for them. They may smile, act confident, and pretend nothing is wrong. But slowly, the cracks begin to show. The first thing to go is their inner peace. It fades away quietly, like the final light of the day. They may not notice it at first, but soon the silence in their mind is replaced with noise, constant worry, stress, and unrest. As that inner peace breaks down, the destruction starts to spread outward. The relationships they once relied on start to weaken. Close friends who used to stand by them no longer feel comfortable. People sense something's off, even if they can't explain it. There's a heavy energy around them, and nobody wants to be near it. Slowly, people begin to pull away. Texts go unanswered. Phone calls stop coming. Invitations dry up. They feel more alone with every passing day. Even deep relationships that once felt unbreakable, like romantic partnerships or long-standing friendships, begin to fall apart. What was once strong becomes tense. What felt loyal now feels fragile. The toxicity they poured into others begins to spill into their own home. Small arguments turn into large ones. Trust fades. They may try to blame others for the growing distance, but deep down, they know they're the common thread in all the chaos. The poison they directed at you didn't just affect you, it seeped into everything they touched. They start to ask themselves why everything is falling apart. Why are people avoiding them? Why do their relationships keep ending? But if they're honest with themselves, they already know the answer. Every manipulative move they made, every bitter word they spoke, every secret plan they launched against you, those actions planted seeds of destruction. And now those seeds are growing, not in your life, but in theirs. Like weeds, they're choking out the life they once enjoyed. After the emotional collapse comes the physical one. Their body starts to carry the weight of their choices. It begins with restless sleep and constant tension. Then the stress builds. They can't focus. They feel tired all the time, even when they've done nothing. Their body hurts for no reason. Mysterious headaches, chest tightness, stomach pain, things doctors struggle to explain, start to appear. What they don't realize is that the pain isn't random. Their physical health is now mirroring their spiritual unrest. The chaos they tried to cause outside is now boiling inside them. Anxiety becomes their daily companion. They might try to hide it with smiles or distractions, but it's always there, gnawing at the edges of their mind. Guilt follows close behind, whispering reminders of what they did. They can't shake the feeling that something's coming. They may even start to feel paranoid, always looking over their shoulder, waiting for the consequences they tried to avoid. But the consequences aren't coming from outside. They're already inside them. Eventually, their reputation, the thing they used to take pride in, begins to crumble. People who once praised them start talking behind their back. The truth begins to surface. Stories they tried to bury are brought into the light. The lies they told lose their power, and the mask they wore slips. Where they were once admired, they are now questioned. Where they used to be trusted, they are now doubted. Their name becomes a cautionary tale. No matter how much they try to rebuild, nothing holds. That's because they built everything on a weak foundation, on lies, manipulation, and pride. And no structure, no matter how beautiful, can stand if the ground underneath it is cracked. Every attempt to fix things fails because the root of their collapse isn't outside, it's within them. They might believe they're fighting you, but what they're actually battling is the force that protects you. You were never alone in this. Your path was set long before they chose to target you. They didn't realize that when they challenged you, they were actually defying something much greater than either of you. And in that battle, they were never going to win. Their suffering isn't just bad luck. It's not random. It's justice unfolding in a slow, deliberate way. Every loss they experience is a direct response to their choices. Every moment of pain reflects the pain they tried to cause. Their life begins to spiral, and no matter how hard they try to regain control, everything slips through their fingers. And while they fall, you rise. You don't have to shout. You don't have to fight back. Your silence is louder than any words. Your peace is proof of your protection. The very energy they used against you is now working against them. It's as if the universe turned their own weapons back on them, and you didn't have to lift a finger. Their lies bounce back. Their traps collapse. Their plans explode in their face. And all the while, you walk forward, steady and calm, because you are covered. You are chosen, and nothing they do can change that. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't sent here to dim your light for the comfort of others. You're here to bring truth, to shake things up, to cause change. And change is never easy. Some people will grow when they see your light. Others will hate you for it. But that hate is not a sign of your failure. It's a sign of your power. Their reaction to you isn't about you. It's about what they see in you that they don't want to face in themselves. You hold up a mirror, and some people can't stand the reflection, so they try to break the mirror. They try to silence you, hurt you, discredit you, but every move they make only reveals more of the truth. Every effort to destroy you becomes part of the story that proves who you really are. And in the end, their destruction is their own doing, not yours. Let them be angry. Let them gossip. Let them plot. None of it touches you. Every stone they throw builds the path under your feet. Every door they close leads you to a better one. Every betrayal is a redirection. Their rejection is your protection. You are rising, not in spite of their efforts, but because of them. Everything they do to stop you only strengthens your position. What was meant to break you has built you. What was supposed to silence you has made you louder. Their resistance to your purpose has become proof of just how unstoppable it is. By the time they realize they can't win, it's already too late. The web they spun to catch you has wrapped around them instead. And the more they struggle, the tighter it gets. They become trapped in their own lives, lost in their own anger, and consumed by the very chaos they wanted for you. You were never the target. They were never the victor. They just didn't understand who they were really fighting. They weren't just coming against a person. They were standing in the way of a divine plan, and that's a fight they could never win. So keep your head high. Keep walking your path. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your peace is your proof. Your success is your answer. Your light is your weapon. You are protected, guided, and chosen. In the end, they will look back and realize that every loss they experienced was tied to the moment they came against you. And by then, the damage will be done. The collapse will be complete. And you'll be thriving, untouched, unbothered, and unbreakable. If this message speaks to your spirit, type 77 in the comments and claim your readiness to rise. This is your moment. Walk in your power. Thank you for being here. Your support means everything. If you feel moved, hit the super thanks and help us keep sharing messages like this with others who need it. We appreciate every bit of your love and energy. Until next time, stay strong, stay true, and never stop rising. The storm may rage, but you were made to walk through it.